I'm Brian Weisenfels. I'm farming in Scranton, Arkansas, and behind me I got a set of black and black baldy heifers that originated from Montana, and I'm using them as a ground foundation to start to build a new herd of cattle. I've always been wanting to bring in some northern cattle from up north, and I got a good friend of mine by the name of Chris Hoover. He's brought some in before, and he's had them over at his farm. We got to talking about it last year at the county fair. He said, "Brian, would you be interested in some northern cattle?" I said, I was needing some young stuff to put in my herd, and to have a foundation, get a different line of breeding in my cattle and different quality of cows. So he said, "Brian," he said, "them northern cattle are pretty good." So I said, "How many are we gonna get in?" He said, "Let's get a pot load in." I said, "Okay." I said, "What ages are they gonna be?" And he said, "They'll be spring calves that we'll breed the following spring in May." I said, "Okay." Then he said, "Brian, we may even try to get some bigger cattle in, some fall calvers that would have been born last fall, right there when they got off the mountain range, and we would have had them. We could have bred them in the fall, last fall, but it didn't work out. We couldn't get them. So we just brought a pot load of these heifers in. I've received 40 of them, and he took 42 of them. And they come from Busby, Montana. They're gonna be the foundation of the herd, so that I wanna build. So they're pretty special. These cattle have got so much deposition, they got so much more muscle, their length of body. I mean, there's something you don't see down here. You may see it down here on some of the cattle, but the hardiness, I mean, the winter hardiness of these cattle, you gotta look at these cattle. They're put up there on the mountain range in May, and they're pulled back down to the low country in September, October. Then they go through a pretty harsh winter. So they gotta be pretty docile and detrimental to take weather conditions like that. And that's something I was wanting to try here, see if we couldn't get some better quality of cattle with more muscle, more deposition. And them cattle out there always seem to do better. When you watch sales on TV, you see all them big cattle out there. That's something I had a vision of having here. So we've had actually a pretty mild summer for them so far, and that's why we transitioned these in the fall of the year. You don't want to bring them down here in the hot summertime because they don't think they'll transition good, or in the spring. You want to bring them down in the fall of the year where they got several months to get acclimation to the climate. Like we brought them here in November. They were here through the winter. Then through the spring, they got used to it. Then when they were here, they could gradually go into the heat of the summer. And they've done very well for me. We synchronized all these heifers to come in heat at one time, which they did. We bred them AI to a polled Hereford bull named Dirt, which Chris Hoover has over at his farm. He had collected semen on this bull, and we bred him to him. Thought it was a good outcross to these heifers, and we're waiting to see what the results are.